Welcome to the Ignorance is Strength podcast. I'm your host, Fabian motherfucking Ojeda, and I don't know shit, but that's okay. All right, let's get this shit started. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Ignorance is Strength podcast. Hope you all enjoyed episode number 79 with the guys from the Working Fans podcast. We're back tonight with an episode of the shit show, sans one person. So if you guys listened last time to the illustrious fart show, we had Potter and Sosa on there, and we talked about possibly voting Whitey off the island there. But in an unprecedented turn of events, Whitey has weaseled his way back.
I just want to interrupt here and say that, what the fuck? I didn't appreciate being pushed off onto that fucking island.
But with that, Sosa is now missing, and so we are -1, but we're still going to run the shit show, and see how it goes. And hopefully next time we'll be able to find Sosa. I think Whitey, you didn't pull a what is that topical murder in the news right now? Is the girl's name Pepino or something?
Petito.
There you go. You didn't pull that, did you?
I don't know. I mean, I really like hiking and stuff, and we've been friends for a long time, and he just pisses me off sometimes. So, but the real story is, I was just minding my own business and was looking out the beach at that island before that oil spill, and I see this figure come towards me, and it's a lady in what looks like a bush child. She said her name was Ganka. And next thing you know, I was on this island. Anyway, I really wanted to get back real hard, and she took me back, and she took me back to Sosa. I haven't seen Sosa since. I mean, don't know where he's at.
You stole Potter's bush wife, and you drowned Sosa.
I didn't steal anything, but I've been gone for weeks, and it just felt like a little, just a couple of hours. But apparently, they kept saying time is different in the bush.
Now,
very different.
In all seriousness, Sosa's got a family emergency to deal with, so he'll be back next time. But I wanted to get your take, Whitey.
What's up?
On the shit show that wasn't a shit show; it was a fart show. So, how do you think? How did you like that one? And I do want to say, in comparison, you did have your own group show with the Men of Weed.
I had a great group show with the Men of Weed. You guys had a good podcast too. But you guys talk a lot about current events and politics or whatever. I think I was telling you that before the show. So I'd like this podcast to not have as much of that. Only because I think we've had enough of that lately. Everything's been about politics or a current event or something. I just want to relax for a change.
Potter, I want you to attack his episode, The Men of Weed, in front of him one more time.
Yeah, go ahead. Attack my episode.
Where am I? Oh. Whitey, where do I start? How much fucking bong water did you feed those guys, before Fabian hit record?
Bong, you can't eat bong water. Oh man. No, they were smoking quite a bit, but I thought it was an interesting show. I mean, Albert freaking he works at a weed place now, and he's freaking when he was working at the print shop, he was colorblind. Think about that. These things are hilarious to talk about.
Oh man, the guys that were talking, they had a couple of good stories here or there, but I think it just took a hard fucking left turn and just went off a cliff at some point. Next thing you know, we're talking about two girls on a cup.
Yeah, okay. I'll admit I was kind of broadsided by the whole cup thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, that one ended it for me. I didn't want to hear
that's when we hit end on the podcast. I was like, we're good up until this point, and then the cup came up.
Personally, before I even hit play and I saw that, oh fuck, Whitey's on here and he's got his weed buddies, and man, they're in the industry. They're not making the weed or stuff like that. But, they got like, some like back end intel of like how crazy it is. Let's hear some crazy stories. Let's hear some interesting stories. Maybe like how much they sell, or like how much like gets just sent to just like one spot all the time. Something, I don't know, something like that. And
I mean, that's more of a kind of a shipping and receiving thing, Potter. I mean, I don't know.
We got fucking zero of that. I've been smoking this backwards this whole fucking time.
The story about the fast food item as well.
And the fast food items. I ate it so fast, and it's like a new record, and next thing you know, I'm fired.
Hey, he was proud of his little eating record. All right.
Man, you guys didn't even talk about weed, and generally you're just like, yeah, I've been smoking forever. It helps me relax. Oh yeah, I used to work at this video game development place, and then I got a sandwich.
It wasn't really supposed to be a cannabis show. They just happened to come from cannabis, like, if that makes sense.
I'm just saying, you guys had an opportunity to like prop up cannabis.
I mean, I had a whole lot more to talk about. We just didn't have enough time
from like the business end of it, and you just shit the bed.
For example, like, wow.
What do you think, Fabian?
Ooh,
it's just gonna be a slander podcast. We're just gonna fucking sling mud at each other this whole podcast.
I think that was a punch to the gut to Whitey right there.
Yeah.
You could have cried in that one. I will say this. One thing they did over us is they were able to record live, which I've been wanting to do with all of us.
Yeah, see, there you go.
We need to get our schedule together on that shit.
We could have done it live last time.
Oh my God, speaking of
somebody had to go into work and do overtime and then ditched.
Oh my God. But I can keep a schedule and a plan, though, and I can make a plan too. So there's that. Fabian, how hard is it to get Sosa and Potter to get to a shit show?
Well, I will take the fifth on that one on anybody, because I'm just the one that's available all the time. But I will say that on the contrary, we're given the pros and cons of the Weedman episode. That was perhaps the worst cover art I've ever made. I had to superimpose your homie's face onto a fake body.
Oh yeah, they sent the worst pictures too. Like,
and the other guy, had like a super close-up selfie. It's like, God damn it, what do you want me to do with this?
It's hilarious. I go, can you send me a picture? Like, I think even his girlfriend said, like, why did you send him that picture? Of all pictures. Oh man.
So your podcast, Whitey, has been accused of being nothing but people indiscriminately talking about nonsense. And Potter, your podcast has been accused of being nothing but political jargon. Which one is the better one?
He's thinking of politics right now. Look at him.
Fucking, I think at least my podcast might have been fucking at least linear. It at least kept on the same fucking track. I think anytime if you talk to Whitey, you went to like one conversation. If you talk to fucking another guy, went another way. Then you talked to the third one, and you went to the two girls in a cup.
Okay, I never went to a cup. I'm telling you.
I didn't say you. I said the third
out of
guy.
The whole freaking like podcast. That's what you decided to focus on is one cup.
That was the ending. That was the ending story. Okay, so I mean, you gotta.
He did listen, and he must have liked it at least a little because he listened all the way to the end.
Maybe he wanted to see what came next, what nonsense came next, just like I did. But Whitey, do you think you'll get the Men of Weed back together for another episode at some point?
I get the Men of Weed back for another episode, and we'll have Potter narrate the episode. Let us know what a good show is.
Potter, do you think you could stand a whole episode with the Men of Weed?
Like work with them for a whole episode?
No, yeah. we mean smoke as much weed as they do.
I don't know about that. I could be there with them. Fucking tell them not to start smoking weed until after the start of the podcast, at least.
I think they didn't start smoking until after the start of the podcast.
Nah, y'all were smoking from the get-go, man. All right, but with that said, we probably will at some point of the course of this episode jump into some things that are topical, not necessarily political, as I know. But that's actually a plus for you, Potter. We're going to give you a break with the whole QAnon and all that OK symbol and what's all the other shit we throw on them sometimes, Whitey.
Oh man, just the rallies and stuff.
Yeah, we're not even going to ask about rallies
or the Capitol or what happened at that Capitol that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah. So you have it a little bit lighter there. So consider yourself lucky. We'll pick it up next time. But I did want to jump into something. So it's like, I think I did receive another comment about, the shit shows where it's like, it is a little bit political. I like how you guys used to share stories about, growing up in Almani and shit, right? And so I think I wanted to throw an idea out there and see if we can give some funny stories or anything like that. Halloween time, right? It's topical right now. It's just about Halloween time, and I think, has everybody like dressed like a fucking woman for Halloween at some point? I don't think I did. Whitey did. I don't know if Potter did, but
Sosa did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but most notably Sosa did when we were like freshmen in high school.
Yeah, he did it at school.
And he was trying to sell it like he was like some $2 hooker on Garvey.
He looked like a fucked up Raggedy Ann with chlamydia.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I'm surprised we don't have a picture of that for the show cover.
If you have the
cover art,
I think it's in the yearbook.
Yeah, it's in the 2004 yearbook. If you have that, you're able to see. Well, I mean, you might not want to see it, but you're able to see Sosa, and he was really playing it up.
He was looking for those $2.
I think he went really full on shaved legs and everything.
No, he didn't. That's what made it funnier.
I remember them legs.
Potter's like, because I paid those $2, and I'll tell you.
Everyone's like, yeah, work it. And then he like lifted up his arms, and you just see fucking pit hair, and everyone's like, ah.
But Whitey, notoriously, there's a video that would pop up every year too, right? On your end.
Right. I was the lady of the night, and we went to In-N-Out Burger, and
MySpace,
we terrorized.
I think it was too.
Oh yeah, MySpace. Tom was our friend. Remember Tom?
We went to In-N-Out.
Yeah, you were there. You were there, Potter, right? What was all that about? Because that was one thing that I do remember. I think I've finally lost the link or the location of the video, so I'm not able to haunt Whitey with it anymore. But it did pop up for a good 10 years.
Dude,
it popped up so much that I had to explain the whole thing to my wife. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you very much. You're always so great to me.
You know, the weird thing is, I don't remember if I was in costume that night or if Macy was. I remember Macy's sister was there. She dressed up as a cop.
Right.
Fabian was there as a pimp. Whitey was there as...
I was the hoe.
Some very disturbing looking Marilyn Monroe type of hoe. And remember, we just finished In-N-Out, and then we went out to the parking lot right there, right? Pretty more or less where like everybody was coming out, and we had Melissa pretend to arrest Whitey right there in front of everybody, and Whitey's like, I didn't do it, nothing's wrong. Meanwhile, Fabian's over there like, what's wrong? Just trying to make a living. You want a chance? $2 a throw.
Yeah, that was a funny night.
Did anybody remember take those $2 throw options on?
No, in fact, remember we did go trick or treating. We were too old to trick or treat. We went to trick or treat, and then like we had like some little Asian girl answer the door, and
oh shit! Did I say?
Was it her parents? I don't remember what you said, man. You probably did say something. We weren't known for not saying something at the time. but yeah, the parents were pretty disturbed, and they were like, kind of like, step away from the door.
Did I use the whole $2 a throw line at that door?
I think he used that at every door.
Oh shit!
I remember you guys went to somebody's house trick or treating, and there was, I think it was a woman, or no, I think it was a woman, and you threw that line out and it's like, that's nice, guys. Have a good evening. Just close the door on you.
Yeah, I think I said something like, "Y'all want some of this, bitch? $2 a throw," and I can't believe we were doing that. I mean, it was like in a nice neighborhood too.
Then there was the year you dressed up as a penis.
Oh yeah,
and we walked up and down like Spyglass Hill.
Uh huh.
And then you were dressed as, it was an inflatable. Yeah, it was not good. And then like people were stopping to take pictures with their kids.
Yeah.
What?
Like a whole family. Like it would be like some homeboy. He'd be like, "Oh shit, pull over!" Right? And he pulled out all his like fucking 4 kids and shit lined up next to this, big phallic inflatable costume.
I think we got some pretty good candy over there, if I remember.
Did I or did I not play drums in that costume, Whitey?
You did play drums in that costume. I think that's how that costume like ended.
And what was I able to do with the? Well, I guess
you would use your head.
costume.
You able to use your head to do a cymbal crash.
Wasn't the best cymbal crash, but it worked.
It's a great way to end a song.
Oh man,
and a band.
Yeah, I remember that. But there had to have been more fucked up costumes, no? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna talk about one. This would probably get me canceled nowadays.
Yes, it will. I didn't say anything.
I know I'm sure the costume that you're talking about or whatever will get us canceled.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna just preface it by saying, and it doesn't matter apparently in internet years, you're apparently beholden to your fucking bullshit until you're dead. From the time you're born to the time you're dead. If you tweet MySpace, Facebook, or fucking Instagram anything, it'll follow you from cradle to grave, right?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. But this times were a little more lenient, right? Just slightly more lenient, not very, but we want to push the envelope every now and then. But that's when like those rappers were with the grills and everything were getting real big and chains and shit. And
the goblet cups too.
Yeah, and they had stuff like pimp juice, and I think that's part of my costume, right? I got like pimp juice, and I'm like, well, this is an easy costume. I'm like, we don't have money, we're college kids, and was able to put together a cheap little costume with like $5 accessories, and I just wore like a little fancy leather jacket, put on a sideways hat with like the Pirates of the Caribbean dreads and shit, and went on to put on what how would you? I don't even want to call it by its name anymore. How would y'all describe it?
You put on makeup that was of a darker hue.
Potter, I love that explanation. I'm going to use it that way. I was gonna say not so natural face, but let's say a darker hue, right? So if you can decode that, that was what I was walking around as. And Whitey, I don't know if you remember what people were asking me.
They were asking you for your Big Wayne. No, Big Wayne, was that it?
Yeah, they're asking, "Oh, you or Little John or
I think it was Little John."
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. It was Little John.
What was my response?
I don't recall.
His
that's been years ago.
Little John sang was yeah.
I didn't say that though.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So again, times were different, and we'll see if this gets me canceled. Why not? Let's just experiment with it. And when people would ask like, "Oh, are you Little John or who's that baseball player? It's some Dodgers guy."
Couldn't tell you.
Manny something? No.
Not during that, especially not during that time.
No, it was the guy with dreadlocks. Anyway, I'd be like, no, they'd ask me, what are you? I'm like, I'm just black. And people, that's different times and everything, but people would react so like, oh, like even then, like I don't even remember. I think it was like 2007 or earlier, right? But
Yeah, that's when he was really big.
but that was, I mean, you can't get away with that anymore. You know, like imagine me trying to do that on the streets of like, I don't know, Hollywood or even Whittier or something like that, right? I'm sure you got a little woke contingent of people out there anyway. But imagine trying to do that nowadays, like even just changing the the tone of your skin for a costume. I mean, is that it's not acceptable anymore, right?
Unless you're like the Incredible Hulk or something.
I could see maybe people making fun of that too. But yeah,
That's weird. Oh yeah, that's too far.
they'll make it about anything.
I mean, even
Yeah, but I think that's accredited that people will bitch about anything, really. They'll find a reason. Doesn't matter what it is.
in my case, it was to push the envelope and be stupid, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, what if it's like, okay, you just genuinely want to be that character and you want to look most like that character?
Today,
you can't even voice the character.
No, you can't do that.
Like,
yeah, the guy who did a poo had to cancel. I think the guy that Carl too also had to quit.
I think Cleveland Brown got changed. No.
Yep. All of those because they were, said to have been trying to put on like a racist character voice or whatever, which I mean, it's kind of silly, right? Because what's a black man sound like, like with especially with the Simpsons, it's like Carl, the black friend from the Simpsons is like he shows up on an episode once every few months, maybe, like, or once a season, twice a season for like 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like they had like the same 2 or 3 people voicing all the Simpsons. Like, why do you specifically need to hire, a black guy to portray a minor character that's not
a cartoon character?
Minor cartoon character, yeah. I mean, the Simpsons are yellow. It's like, come on. But it's super silly. Now I'm not saying that we can't show compassion and sympathy and all that. Otherwise, because what I'm about to share with you all on here, I think you've already seen, but it bears repeating. And it's an interesting, how do I put it? How would you even describe this? I don't even know where to start before we even walk through it.
It's not interesting. It's embarrassing. What I saw was embarrassing. I don't know. I don't know what even to think about that.
I think the person in question here is trying to go above and beyond to like really drive a point home, but I think she's just completely losing sight of trying to drive that point home. And in fact, it becomes more about how she's doing it than what she's doing. Does that make sense? What do you think?
I still don't get the point.
I don't get the point at all either. But what we have here is Native American teacher. White teacher mocking Native Americans for a math lesson for some reason. Let's play that real quick. Bitch is stomping on the cabinets. Sounds like she's being rammed by Tonto. And now the bitch is on the desk, sitting there.
Again, I ask you, please tell me the secret Indian chant. Please. And then I hear.
So I'm going to stop it there because that's pretty fucking embarrassing, right? But
yeah, that's hard to watch.
That bitch is crazy, right? Like, You had to cut out, like, you went to through the effort of fucking die cutting,
Feathers.
construction paper feathers and making a fucking headband, right?
Yeah.
Wearing like these weird design, I guess, Native American esque style pants, and she's probably obviously off her meds or something, just running around shouting out Sokotoa.
That's the weird part to me is like when you look at mental illness. You know what I mean? Like if a psychiatrist or something like that looked at this video or not, I mean, and a psychologist, I think we'd be hearing a funny conversation there. Like this, what the hell is she doing over there? Like she's in charge of children.
Can you imagine being a kid in a room at that point?
Yeah, really. Like I get it. There's a difference between enthusiasm though and overdoing whatever the hell that was.
All she had to do was do like a PowerPoint, like every fucking other math teacher since ever has done, and just say what this is and hand out a worksheet.
No. You know what though? I guarantee those kids will never forget Sokotoa now.
Oh man. We don't even, man, you'd have to be a mathematician, I feel, or some sort of engineer to really need to know what that is. Even then, so there's fucking cheat sheets now. Mm-hmm. There's the computer you're using that will figure out all that stuff that you're trying to remember. They're asking us to remember. So
I just feel like we went to school with a bunch of whack jobs too. Like I feel like we had a couple of teachers that were kind of not all there,
Yeah. I don't know if any of them ever stomped up and down on fucking cabinets like that and prayed to the Indian gods for Sokotoa, but I agree. Maybe they hid their crazy a little better, but this bitch just straight up, man. Even you have to know you're gonna have like a shitload of cameras on you at that point. And
yeah, every kid has a phone on them. Every single kid has a phone on them.
It's gonna get streamed somewhere, and it's like.
Not only that, but every kid has a 40 megapixel camera in their pocket. I mean, like the quality of fucking, like, even the free phone that I just got has a 40 megapixel camera on it. Like the resolution on that shit, man. Like you don't have to guess who's fucking giving that lesson anymore.
That's true. Because when Whitey takes pictures of his pubes now, they're so clear you can see every color.
I really appreciate your help getting the phone. I know you wanted to see him, Fabian.
Anything for the pubes, you got to help each other out.
Hey, OnlyFans or something.
We'll start it up again, Whitey. We're gonna make that profit. It's all for the profit there. That coin.
If we only had a fan.
Nobody subscribed.
You'll be making so much coin, Whitey.
All the popsicles started melting, and the dream.
Oh my God! Let's talk about that story. Jesus Christ, that took a turn for the worse, huh?
The fucking popsicles?
No. That chick, whatever, the coin chick.
Oh, did you listen to that?
Yeah, dude. Like, okay, so she was doing porn, and like an uncle or something like that from like Germany or somewhere across the world or whatever, like, calls her up and starts threatening or whatever to take it down and this and that, and you're embarrassing the family type thing. My whole thing was though, how the fuck did he even know she was doing porn unless he's like going to these porn sites or something like that, or
right? Yeah,
somebody's watching this chick do the porn or whatever, and then like he's like, oh well, it's bad or whatever. Well, obviously not. You were looking at porn, dude.
Yeah. So I only had a half hour. She had a limited schedule that day, but and we had to already push back. But it was an interesting story because it was a cousin, right? And that's the same thing I asked. Like, well, how would he even know, right? Like, you mean to tell me he's on there just to tell people not to be on there?
Yeah,
like,
he's there as an advocate or whatever. He's like, this is bad. Page 2. Even
so, like, anytime you look for somebody online, it's not that easy. You don't just stumble upon people online. So he had to probably have looked up like a username or something like that, and been like, oh, there she is. I don't know, man. I just think that's really shady, and I'm like, first of all, what what business is it of yours? You know,
Yeah.
like that's a grown ass adult. You know, I mean, it's what are you going to tell anybody who's over 18 and makes their own decisions? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, always an interesting conversation with that one. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Definitely.
I will let the audience know that both sites are now back up, and so if you have the coin to go spread, go see a spread, then by all means, you know, dive right in because you will be able to.
Muff dive right on in, guys.
What did you listen to any other episodes, Whitey, that piqued your interest?
I heard you talk to Matt.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get to.
I missed Matt, man.
That
Like,
was a good
damn work.
episode.
I've been working a lot lately with the holidays coming up and stuff, and Chinese shipping being backed up for like the unforeseeable future.
So we talked about Matt all the time on these shit shows, and was finally able to get him on. You know, I think the way I mentioned it is we found the brown whale.
Oh man. Hey, how many times have you heard from him since the show?
Oh, a few times. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh.
Yeah.
He usually just kind of disappears.
He wants to start his own podcast where he talks to bums.
A Matt cast, if you will.
Yeah, where he talks to bums.
He wants to just talk to bums.
Yeah, you didn't hear him? He wants to talk to bums on the street.
I didn't hear that part. I mean, there was all of this like talk about MMA and like talking to all these guys that like can you get them like kind of like on the inside, maybe for like doing a reffing gig and stuff like that. But I did not hear him say about talking about bums.
Did you hear that, Whitey, or no?
I don't remember the bums part. I listened to most of what Potter did. I heard my name mentioned a few times.
Yeah. What did you think about your backseat driving comment?
Oh, he's hilarious, man. Like, I like how he said he annoys me, but he finds a way to get you in on the joke, and then I'm laughing at the fucking joke or whatever. Because that has happened quite a few times.
Then he goes like, well, "That's Whitey. Gotta love him."
You poke the bear, and then like somehow I find out how to like get him not pissed off anymore. So,
are there any little stories, Whitey, that maybe he didn't tell that you wish he would have told on there?
I punched him in the nose once, and he got pretty pissed off. Like, did he tell that story? I don't think he did.
No,
you did, didn't you?
Yeah, he was mad. He was really mad about that. Something I don't remember because he dropped me on my head or some shit like that. Like we were doing drills and he was the partner or something like that. And you're supposed to, you're not supposed to kill somebody at practice. And he fucking like landed on my head weird or something. And then right afterwards, I'm pretty sure I punched him in the nose. And then he got really pissed off afterwards. And he's like, yeah, damn you, Whitey.
You're still alive.
Yeah, I'm still alive, man. Like, I think, yeah.
You punched Matt in his prime.
He let me
pretty
live.
Much.
Yeah.
And he was bigger than you.
Yeah, Matt's
he just
a fucking
dropped
beast,
you on
man.
your head
Yeah.
like a moment ago.
Yeah.
And you thought that was a great idea.
I just like, I don't care. I'll mess with the big dog.
How do you like how he said that alcohol and whores ruined his life?
I mean, it's true. Like, we fucking hung out with him long enough to know that like he wasn't making that up. That's like, if we could say any one of our friends is the worst off or whatever because of like early life decisions, I would say it's probably him. As far as like that's tough, man. Having kids with different people and everybody needs money at that point. It's your obligation to support everybody because you put yourself in this mess or whatever, right? The good thing to do. So that's going to follow him for, that follows you for 18 years, depending on, when your last, kid was really.
Do either of you remember the origins of Onion Dick? Because we didn't discuss that either, but he brought up the name.
He had some sort of STD or something like that. Like, and he's in the fucking van, and you said something, and he's like, he said something like, "You mean like when your dick peels like an onion or whatever?" Like, and you're like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?" Like, nobody's dick does that.
Were you in there?
I was there when he said it the first time, and I'm like, I think we laughed for a whole fucking hour or whatever, like about this whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
It's just so like, who fucking says that, dude?
I think it was a bunch of us working security that night. We even
Yeah.
had Orlando with us, Greñas.
Oh man.
Yeah. I remember he was in on that. But yeah, he was just telling some weird. Do you remember Potter? Or were you there or no?
I was not there. I heard you tell the story.
Yeah. So he same thing. Whitey said, he's just kind of there making conversation. He goes, hey guys, so like when your dick peels, like like is that normal? And everybody's looking at each other like, the fuck are you talking about? He goes, yeah, like the skin it starts to like peel off a little. I'm like a snake, like you're shedding skin like a snake. Well, yeah, kind of like that, yeah. Like it just happens sometimes.
I feel like this is like pre-WebMD or something like that, and he just couldn't Google it. This is why this shit like works so much better now. Because as friends, we don't have to have these conversations.
At that point, I'm just like, what is wrong with you? You like, you got multiple layers on it, like a fucking onion. I'm like, onion dick. Yeah, but I just I cracked up at that because I'm like, what must have been going on down there? I'm like, that's why I wanted to call him the disease Reese.
Maddie the disease Reese. Yeah.
But
well, it's good to hear that he's, at least alive and doing something.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll try to catch up. I'll try to get him on the show, man. He expressed interest in it. He really wanted to jump on.
Man, he should have fucking joined this show.
Yeah, it would have been cool. Yeah. But it's really kind of like it's like gambling, like a crapshoot trying to schedule them. So it's like when you get them, and you don't, you don't.
Yeah. We'd have to try to book them now for next time.
For sure. Yeah. Now, besides that, for the pod, I know there's some different topics. We talk about it all the time. Like, I think the last show we did, all of us were just so fucking tired and we were so like out of it. I managed to edit it very well, but I remember we're just like fucking dragging from topic to topic to topic. You guys remember that?
Yeah, it was kind of lagging a bit. Not gonna lie.
So
I'm still tired. It's more manageable though. Been working lots of Saturdays lately.
No, but last time we were all like asleep.
Yeah,
like, we're literally
it was late. It was like between like 10 or 11. I think we started like at 10 recording.
So I asked you all, the task of the shit show is each of you bring a topic. So I'm going to test you right now. We're sans Sosa, but we've taken enough time and told enough stories where it could be just the two of you all. Now, I want to see if you did your homework. Where's the topic?
Well, my topic was a question for Potter, kind of, and I kind of like went over this a little bit before the show. So since I'm trying to stay away from like politics talk or whatever, I was trying to think of something like normal to ask Potter for a change, to make him a human instead of just like a political fucking mouthpiece. So as a father, like, since this is the Ignorance is Strength show, and I'm kind of ignorant to the fact I'm not a father. I don't know these things, but I think it's interesting when people tell stories of like things you didn't know before you were a parent, like something that surprised you about one of your kids or something like that. Maybe something happened. And it was just unexpected. Like, I didn't know like that could have been an issue. And now I'm in a situation, or maybe something you laugh about now.
Yeah. All right. So, man. All right, so with my first kid, she must have been maybe somewhere around like 3 or 4 months.
I'm going to stop you right there, Potter, because this is news to the podcast. You said to your first kid, meaning I don't know if anybody knows, but you have another on the way. Boom.
Yep. Child number 2 on the way. Expected delivery Christmas. Anyways,
you hear those party favors in the background?
Nope.
No.
no, you're not going to add party favors in the background. You're a mean man, Fabian.
Let me do that with my reactions button. Hey, there it is.
I get no help here ever.
Gotta love Zoom, right?
Oh man.
Go on, Potter, with your firstborn.
All right, so there I was with my firstborn. I was on dad duty watching the kid all day. And I went to go pick up my wife from work. So I got the kid in the back seat, strapped in the car seat, everything squared away. And my wife just says like, oh, just like 5, 10, 10, 15 more minutes, and then I'll leave. That turned out to be the longest 10, 15 minutes of my life, because I think somewhere around like minute 5 into that 10 minutes, my kid decides to take just like a giant deuce in her diaper. I'm like, fuck. All right, I can hold off. It's not that bad. It doesn't, I'm not choking over here on it. I just roll down the windows. I'll be fine. 5 minutes, and then we'll be right back home. We're 2 minutes away. It would have been the same difference if we were driving, not much I can do. Waiting. Still not going. Like the smell just keeps getting stronger. It feels like 10, 15 minutes has passed now. Still no Macy. I go to check on the kid, and she has since then picked her diaper and decided to paint herself with said fecal matter. I'm like, oh, you're fucking kidding me.
Oh God.
Why? How could you do it? It wasn't a lot, but like, oh my God, it's like, fuck, man.
So who has to deal with this at this point? Was it you or Macy? Like, did you just kind of walk away and be like, forget this?
No, because she still wasn't there yet. So I was starting to deal with this, and
it was your problem. Okay, yeah,
it was my problem. Just like,
it's a shitty problem to have.
it's like, I think I'm like halfway through cleaning her up. Not even what might have been a mess on the car seat, just her up.
Mm-hmm.
And makes it come out, hey, what's going on? I'm like, blowout. We had a blowout. It's just she painted herself.
Oh God.
and I think that was probably like the worst incident that happened. But I mean, like I knew it was gonna happen. I just didn't know how it was gonna happen or when.
You knew that your child was gonna put shit on her.
There was a premonition. Let's hear about the premonition.
It's just Mr. New Parent, your kid craps themselves, and like it's probably guaranteed at least once something bad's gonna happen with that. And like that was it. That was the really bad time with the deuce right there.
Oh yeah. Why do you now? Did you ask that because you're interested in becoming a father?
Well, maybe. I'm not opposed to being a father. I'm just not gonna go try to be a father.
Now, after that conversation, did that swerve you in one direction or another?
Yeah, again, I'm not trying to be a father. I got my own shit to worry about, let alone, another shit. Too many shits to worry about already.
A little one for 18 years.
That's 18 years worth of shit.
I mean,
and you've got a girl, man. So that's different shit. That's stuff that you're not going to be as well equipped to fucking handle as like you haven't lived that. So good luck, man.
Yeah, because it's all brothers.
You got that nice fucking nice dark hair right now. I'm just waiting a couple years, man. Dating's gonna start happening and shit, and like, yeah.
Oh fuck, man.
Wait, is your girl in wrestling too with Sosa's boy?
Dude, so at the beginning of October, Sosa's like hit me up and it's like, hey, we're going here on Monday. And I'm like, oh fuck. Dude, that'd be so awesome to get our kids in there like at the same time. Like I'm totally down to get my kid into wrestling. And Sosa's kid's 4, just turned 4, and my girl's like 3.5. She just turned 3.5. She was just, we met up with the coach there, awesome guy, and he's like, oh man, she's like really young. She might be too young, and there's like a lot of like 6 and like 8-year-olds on the mat, and I'm just like worried for her. Like she might just get like trampled on, too roughhouse.
Right.
I'm like, oh, all right, maybe like another month or so. He also said like, oh, I'm thinking about doing an even earlier, like 3 to 5 or something like that class, like the class before that one, like at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock to 5. It's at Legacy Wrestling in Covina on Citrus. Oh, it's just down Citrus. And I'm like, all right, cool. All right, we'll just watch. And so we sat down, and my daughter Belle, she's just like, Dad, I want to go. Let me go. I'm like, you sure? She's like, yeah, let me go. I'm like, all right, go explore, try. And she was totally digging it, and she loved it. It was actually kind of hilarious trying to see her trying to do forward rolls and back rolls.
Well, that's cool.
And then at the end of that last class, they did like you push up against your partner and you try to like take them down. So you're pushing and they're pushing. See who wins. And she got paired up with this little boy, and he just like shoved her. My kid's like, she did nothing. She just like got back up. It's like, all right, here I come for you. And then, but then that guy was like super fish, and he just like, she like barely touched her with like a finger, and he just like, just like flew down. So she's still pretty young, but yeah, I want to keep on going. She got sick, so we've been taking it. We haven't been going, so we're just waiting for her to get better.
Well, that's cool. The next generation of wrestlers there. Maybe one day you'll be able to, Potter, you'll be able to pass down your old ankle brace and ice packs to sit out on practice.
Oh, yeah. The man with the always wrapped foot.
I had to take a shot there, Potter. Come on. It's nice of a story that was.
All right, man. Fuck it.
He's probably still wearing the fucking ankle wrap, dude. We just haven't,
the ankle wrap, ice packs, and bandages.
I actually hardly ever used ice packs, but I did always have the ankle wrap. Yeah.
That's true. No.
Was it because your ankle hurt, or you just wanted to feel like Scrooge McDuck?
No, dude. I fucking got like smashed like 2 different times in high school, and I think one time at Rio Hondo. I think like, I don't know if it was like Fabian or Matt or like
Don't throw that evil on me.
It was the heavyweights, okay? It was either the heavyweights or the 215s, okay? And like maybe like I took a shot and like my foot was just like out there still or something, and then somebody fucking crushed it and just flattened out my ankle even further than what it was. And then another time I distinctly remember that like my foot got caught like between the mats, because we had those big ones that were all taped together, and then we had a smaller one after that. It got like stuck in between that, and that got tweaked. Similar thing happened at Rio Hondo. Just found like that, my foot just found that right spot, and like my body went one way and the foot stood still.
Sounds like you were the problem. Anyway, Whitey, what you got? Well, oh no, you already got, that was yours. Potter, what you got for us, man? I know you had a little list there of things you wanted to perhaps touch on.
We could either try to go funny about shit talking about some people, or we can go about stealthing, being like going into law. It's illegal to do stealthing. To
Why do you get your choice, because you are the one who is advocating for less current events in politics, but good shit talk session.
I think stealthing could be the what's up.
I was gonna say I don't feel like stealthing would be like, left or right, but I just
because it's on your dick. It's right down the middle. Yeah.
Go on, Whitey, then.
Go on, Whitey. I'm supposed to stealth or what? No, no. I said I think stealthing is going to be a funnier conversation there. I don't know.
Well, go on, Potter. Tell us about the stealthing.
Yeah. So how do you do it, Potter?
All right. Well, first off, California passed a law that would you can face criminal charges for stealthing, which is removing your condom during sex with your partner. And everyone's like, yeah, man. When I saw it online, they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is horrible. Like you shouldn't be doing that shit. Like it's just very rapey. And And I saw one person put one good point. I'm like, how are you going to prove this? And then the point that I was trying to get at was maybe I think it's probably more of an issue of like, I feel like it's more like a you problem. Like, why are you sleeping with somebody and trusting them to leave the condom on? You're just hooking up with like some random people and hoping that they leave the condom on. I feel like there's a lot more to it than just charging somebody for taking off a condom.
Well, I feel like the stealthing is the right word for it, because you have to be very stealthy to pull that shit off, right?
Yeah, I think you would be able to tell. I'm pretty sure you would be able to tell. You know,
I mean, you don't just like out of the middle of nowhere, you know, go like, snatch, I'm in your snatch, you know?
Yeah, man,
it's not very stealth. It can't be.
I mean, how would you not be able to tell? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe in cases where you're like drunk or out of it, but that's even more at that point of a complicated issue, you know?
Yeah.
So what are you saying, Potter? You're for it or against it, or what's your stance?
I think people should just make some better choices and not just be fucking sleeping around with anybody and hope that the person doesn't remove the condom during sex. I mean, yeah, it's bad that the guy's taking off the condom during sex, you know, without consent and stuff. But
there's women who purposely try to get. Hold on, let's play devil's advocate here. There's women out there who try to get pregnant. I mean, on purpose, you know, and stick a guy in a situation or whatever. That if we're being fair or whatever, that should be illegal too.
Ask Maddie Ruiz.
There you go. I mean, come on.
I feel like if but then if the guy had a condom on and then the girl says ditch it without letting you, you know, without the telling you that I secretly want to get pregnant, that way I can trap you, then you would have to prove that too. But
I guess
I think I'm more upset that this stupid thing actually became like a law. Like I feel like people should just be making some better choices. That's all I'm trying to get at.
We all know people don't make those choices though, you know? Like you have to really be
how are you going to prove this? How do you prove this? What if they were lying?
Yeah.
What if the condom broke?
Yeah.
And you kept going?
What if you have such a puny little fucking thing, and then the bitch is like a fucking, you know, like a snatch monster, and like, you know, it just kind of like got eaten, devoured in the process. You know, it's like,
well, somebody could argue if a woman says stop or whatever, like, and you don't stop or whatever, that's rape, right?
Damn it, I was about to.
So if the condom
on you, Whitey.
No, wait, but
you messed up my setup. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, like, if to Potter's point or whatever, like, I mean, that it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's if she tells you to stop after that point, then yeah. I mean,
so if your condom breaks, and you know it breaks or whatever, like, and you keep going, wouldn't that be the same as like, oh, like crossing that line or whatever? Like, I just think they're kind of the same.
I mean, you would have to know that it broke.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. And how would you prove that, though? There's too many gray areas.
Mm-hmm. It's very hard to legislate anything below the waist.
Yeah.
You know, there's guys that have been accused of rape and they've been, you know, dragged through the mud, and you know their lives will never be the same. Not to, you know, not believe all women that have been raped, but technically it's hearsay, and like, fuck, this person, between these two people, they agreed to have intercourse already
in some way or another. Yeah.
And that is exactly why I agree with your consent forms, Potter 2024. Two forms of ID, is that it? And 4 signatures plus initials.
And, initial there if you want some oral.
No oral or I mean, I was gonna throw it for free. But...
All I know is if you're looking for a job, notary public.
But I was talking about how this kind of ties into like the whole thing. So like if you have AIDS, right, and it used to be a felony where if you purposely infect someone with AIDS, you're a felon now, right? California, well, not even California, fucking Gavin Newsom decided that it should no longer be a felony, right? So something like, I mean, to me, something like that, you're basically trying to kill somebody, no? If you're purposely infecting them with AIDS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Like,
so I wonder why they're focusing on things like stealthing, right? When something like purposely infecting someone with AIDS is now kind of getting downgraded. And
you can't even cough on somebody these days, dude, without getting a fucking like in trouble. Like we're talking, yeah. Come on.
Yeah. So if you want, I mean, I don't know what kind of agenda they have there. Like if they're trying to protect some sort of protected class of people, but come on, man, fucking purposely infecting someone with AIDS. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like it's just wrong from every angle, right? So, I mean, it should still remain a felony, and I think that it should even. I mean, call me crazy, but it should be up there with like attempted murder.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. You're infecting somebody with an autoimmune. You're pretty much trying to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And then you get the COVID, and then you're over.
Yeah. Not good. How you doing from the COVID now, Fabian? Let's check in on that.
I don't think I'm very making any improvements, man, but at least I'm still alive.
How's the breathing? No improvement?
No. I'll get there, man. I think it's just a matter of building up breath again, and I haven't been as active because, it's bothersome. So I have to find a way to get out there. I just know that I don't want another bout. So I'm going to get all the boosters and all that shit. I don't care what anybody says. I don't understand why, and you can have your opinions one way or another, but I don't understand why this one, vaccine has so many people up in arms, like stupid ass people, saying like, oh, well, I'm going to, protest at work and blah, blah, blah. It's like, get over yourself, let's put the fucking the measles or fucking polio in here, right?
Right.
Same shit. Did anybody protest the polio vaccine?
Well, there's been anti-vaxxers for everything. It's just this one.
That's true.
There's more.
But you know what? We used to call them fucking crazy.
I don't think I'm going to take that back. I don't think there's more. I think that it's just more publicized.
What is the COVID?
Anti-vaxxers. I feel like we had the same amount of anti-vaxxers before.
I don't know, man. It's hard to tell because before it was really only like a select group of rich white people who thought they knew better. Now everybody thinks they know better.
Yeah, everyone thinks they know better. I love it.
I got a friend of ours. She's pregnant right now too, and I guess when it came to her time to be able to get the vaccine, it was still very early on, and she decided, I'm not going to take the vaccine yet. I'm going to wait till at least maybe the baby gets a little bit healthier, more viable, a safer point in the pregnancy. And she just told us that her last doctor visit, she's due in December also. Her last doctor visit, maybe about a month ago now, that the doctor was fucking shaming her the whole fucking time for not getting the vaccine. Oh, you're such a horrible person. I can't believe you would do this. You probably didn't get your other daughter vaccinated. And it's the fuck, man. I just didn't want to get it when I was 1 month pregnant. Now you're making me not want to get it at all. Shit.
Well, the whole not get it at all, that's silly on her end then. But
yeah,
doctor sounds like a dick, granted. Right. But you should just do the best thing, and I think it's silly that people are still questioning whether this is the best thing. This is a global effort, right? So if you want to start throwing around big pharma, first of all, anybody who says big pharma, right? You don't even know who the fuck big pharma is most of the time. You just like to throw that phrase out there. So tell me, who's big pharma, right? And you know, they want to have like this weird fucking comic book-esque good versus evil fight in their heads. It's like, it's not that complicated. You know, this is a global effort where everybody synergized their efforts into trying to find a vaccine, right? That's why it was quicker than most, right? It was researched like fucking crazy. It was funded like fucking crazy. And it was a global effort. That's what happens when you get everybody together for the same goal, you know? But at the same time, I want to point out there too that, you know, people are like, oh, you don't know the long-term effects. Well, when they started vaccinating for polio, nobody knew the long-term effects either. But people knew, hey, I don't want to be all fucking crippled and weak with polio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go on. Sorry, Potter. I had to go on that tangent. Go on.
No, it's all right. Like, I get it. And I mean, my wife was pregnant and she got the vaccine already. She got the same time that I did. There was no hesitancy to get the vaccine. I think other people are just. I think other people that haven't got it, they're looking at the statistics of them surviving it, and then on top of that, those that have gotten it already got, you know, some immune system from it, you know, boost from it. They're gonna be okay. They theoretically shouldn't die from it, as long as they don't have any other big pre-existing conditions if they get reinfected.
See, that's the part that kind of worries me, you know, because there are people who are vaccinated still and they get it again and they die. So it's like, hey, if I get it again, maybe I'm it's like a little countdown now, you know, like, okay, 3, 2, 1, you're doomed, you know.
And I think that's what makes the people that aren't vaccinated yet, you know, skeptical, because they, more often than not, they're younger. They theoretically, if there's nothing wrong with them, they should survive being infected with COVID. And if they've already had it, then they're even, I think there's should be just as equal amount of chance of them surviving it if they get it again.
Yeah, and the people who are against it are just, they need to stop trying to outsmart and outthink everybody. You know, when you have, you know, doctors telling you what's what, you know, legitimate doctors. I know there's like the one-offs that are the conspiracy theorists too, everybody will point to and be like, look, that doctor says don't do it, right? But when the mass majority of fucking, you know, the medical field is telling you like, hey, you're fucking stupid for not getting vaccinated, like, just do it, you know? I don't really see a big deal like there. And for people now too to be so like up on their fucking high horse that they want to risk losing their jobs and, you know, having their kids attend school and everything. It's like, fuck, man, like, you all are just stubborn ass fucking ignoramuses at this point, you know?
Isn't there natural selection?
Yeah, I guess so, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's been even affecting schools that we serve at work. You know, we're having to pull people from from jobs that are not out in the field in the schools, right? So from the office positions to go fill the school positions because so many people are unvaccinated and refuse to get vaccinated. And so that mandate came down where it's like, you know, if you're not vaccinated, you will not work at the school kind of thing, right?
Right.
So it's already affecting, you know, a lot of different people. And I'm just like, it's so silly, you know, either go get tested. And then it's not even saying 100% like you have to get vaccinated. It's saying be vaccinated or get tested weekly, right?
Yeah.
What's the fucking harm? Like, just fucking do it.
But they're like, oh, but I have to pay for the tests.
That's not true either.
Really?
Yeah. If you work at a school, every single person that I know that works at a school, their district or their organization or their school pay for it. I was taking a weekly COVID test, even though I was double vaccinated. And I paid nothing. You know, I would just wait every Monday to go get swabbed and shit, and no big deal, you know, right before I left for lunch or whatever, get swabbed, and then your results come on your phone either later that day or the next day. You know,
Gotcha, yeah.
It's not that hard, you know. People are just making so much out of nothing.
Right.
I really can't find a good argument why you would be against it, you know. And I try to understand this, but I always try to look at, be devil's advocate, be like, let's see, what the other side says, and if I can make sense of it. I can't make any sense of it.
They said we're getting microchip, man. It's a microchip in the vaccine.
Other than you're right there creating kind of your own conclusions, and again, this whole like comic book good versus evil bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like they make it such a like an epic kind of thing. It's like, no, man, it's not that hard. Like it's just you're putting your pride on a pedestal there. But I don't know, Potter, you seem to be more, and it's not an insult. It's actually just, you seem to be more in tune with those people that are against, but you have any feedback on that?
Man, if you're old enough and got some pre-existing conditions, I think you should probably definitely get vaccinated. You should do whatever you can to make sure that you don't catch COVID, and then because of COVID, then fucking triggers all this other shit, and then you die. But man, I think the bigger problems right now is everyone's like, well, what about like the really young? What about like the kids? They got like a really good chance of surviving this if they catch it. Like they might not even show any heavy symptoms, and you still want me to vaccinate them, even though it's like there's no hope. Like it's either the vaccine or nothing. And they're like, yeah, they need to get vaccinated. And it's like, I don't know. Man, my daughter's under 5 right now. I think she'll be fine if she caught COVID. I don't know how happy I'd be if I had to give her this the vaccine right now. Maybe after another year or two, and there's like some better, feedback results about some like longer term study about some of these cases. My mind will probably change, but at this point right now, like I really don't think kids should be that worried.
But what are you looking to see in the studies? Because they've
been studying, SARS forever.
Mm-hmm.
How long has SARS been around?
Just how the vaccines can affect.
It's the 19th variant.
I want to say it right. Just for further longer term study of the possible side effects that may or may not occur by you taking the vaccine, especially at a younger age. That's what I'm concerned about for my daughter. And I think I would want to wait for her. She's young. She doesn't got any conditions. Now maybe she had some like some medical conditions that that could be life threatening if they don't get taken care of, like, I don't know, like childhood diabetes or something like that. I don't know. It would be like a cause for her. Life threatening at least, like that. And then like, fuck yeah, shit. Maybe she should get the vaccine right now, but she doesn't. She's healthy. She's fine. Lots of kids, lots of people die from the flu too. Kids can die from the flu if it goes untreated.
Data does show that more and more kids now are getting sick with COVID and that more are dying, right? There was a time when they weren't dying at all, but now it's kind of on the rise, right? Doesn't that worry you? Like, hey, maybe, just comply with this shit and, why take the risk? It's a tough one, I know.
It's tough for her. Like I said, I think they're barely discussing it right now if it's going to get cleared for up to 5 years old, and she's under 5. So, that'd be like another discussion and roundabouts of talking the doctors and stuff would have to do before I even get a chance to give it to her.
Right. There's a couple of years left for you guys.
So, if she gets sick, I'm going to try to do everything I can to, medicine. And, I try my best right now to try to keep her healthy.
Let's say
vitamin C's and stuff like that. So it's the best I can do, right?
fifth birthday hits, right? Opportunity to vaccinate. You're a parent. And I know we got you in the hot seat, Potter, but I mean, it's important to me. It's important because I'm not a parent. Whitey's not a parent, and like I think your opinion here is pretty crucial.
But we have this vaccine right here that we're ready to administer live over the air.
Dude, there's some adults right now that are concerned about taking the vaccine because they're not sure how it's going to react to their body, and they want to have children.
I think the adults that are worried about it are silly. I understand, like, okay, we don't know about kids or whatever, blah, 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 but the adults right now at this point, it's just silly. Like, just.
All right, let's hypothetically, if there was some issue with that with the adults, what kind of damage could I possibly theoretically even be doing more to my daughter?
What do you mean?
Like, if there is a chance something like that, like having kids in the future would become a harder issue, or
so what are you talking about? Like that people are thinking that the vaccine will make you sterile?
I don't know about sterile or just complications, not being able to
I think I understand. He's talking chud babies.
For the egg to fertilize and like seed it and grow.
Well, where's that coming from though? I don't even understand where that's coming from.
I don't know, but that's what those.
So I'm saying, like,
I don't even know. Fuck, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, all this misinformation, right? Or even just, it might be relevant, but who even knows where it's coming from? Because like you're an intelligent guy and you don't even know where it's coming from. It's just all hearsay, and all we're doing is playing the bigger what ifs, right? Us on this end where it's like, I'm just gonna get all this shit done I can, and that's it. I'm just satiating all the what ifs in my case, as far as like what happens if I get it, the COVID again, right? And on other people's end where they don't want to get it, they're just playing the what ifs about like, well, what if it's a bad thing? So we're just playing the bigger what ifs, it seems like to me.
Yeah, I think you got a point there. Man, if she was 5 right now and they said vaccines go up to 5 years old, right now at this point, and this is when the same time frame that the vaccine also has been out. Damn, I don't know what I'd do. I'd see maybe if I could try to halt it as long as I can, maybe wait another year, at least some more research information about possible side effects for kids. I don't know. It's tough.
No, I get you, but I like, to me, I guess I'm just questioning in my head, like, what put those what ifs there for you, because maybe me not being a parent, I haven't really heard too many potential pitfalls for the young ones, but maybe I just haven't paid attention, but to me, I'm thinking, like, if I didn't know you, Potter, obviously, look, I know you, so I'm not going to judge like too harshly, but if I didn't know you, I'd be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did this bullshit come from? Who's putting those doubts out there, right?
Man, I can't remember where I heard about having a kid, possibly is about that. I do know, I think it was like an ESPN sportscaster or announcer just got fired because that's what she wanted. She wanted to have kids, and she wanted to wait on getting the vaccine, and they said, "See you later."
Because we know a sportscaster is a qualified source.
No.
I don't understand how the two
I gave you an example there of somebody out there that's generally concerned about that. Again, generally concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know where the two correlate though. Like, hey, I want to get the vaccine, but I want to have kids. Like, you can do both,
I guess.
I mean, vaccinated people have gotten pregnant. It's like you can do both. That's the thing that I don't get. But again, it's just like this weird kind of like us versus them, good versus evil type nonsense. But also what bothers me is that people are so quick and ready and willing to, take the word of somebody like Joe Rogan, right? Right off the bat, like, oh, he knows what he's talking about. Like, as opposed to like fucking doctors and shit, and I mean, Joe Rogan's biggest thing is when he researches, he just tells his little buddy over there, like, hey, look up this, and that. Like, come on, dude, that's not real research. Everybody knows, like, Google isn't real research.
Right.
But you'll have all these people like, oh, but Joe Rogan says it. Who gives a fuck what he says? He might have beaten in his own way, but hey, it could be an anomaly, maybe he's right. I don't know, but I'd rather take the more sure form in the vaccine.
Man, did you listen to that podcast with him talking to that CNN doctor? Gupta I think was his name.
That one I didn't know.
Why did you hear that one at all?
I heard snippets of it, like just whatever they had on the news feed.
All right, so I think the two big things that I could probably take away from that podcast was, one, he asked the doctor, why did CNN say I took horse dewormer when it's not just a horse dewormer? It's a legitimate medicine that you can get for certain diseases. Okay. And the doctor just like, I don't know. I didn't say anything. I didn't try speaking up. I don't know. And then in fact, like the next day, I think it was Don Lemon on CNN. I don't know his fucking name. Anyways, he had the doctor and he was like, no, well, you see, we're kind of right, because one of the big things that ivermectin is a horse dewormer. So we were kind of telling the truth with that. And then you could almost see it. The doctor tried jumping in there to throw in like a little asterisk to try to give like maybe even give Joe like a point. And he was like, all right, so anyways, back to the next subject over here. So that was that. And then the other takeaway I think I got from Joe Rogan was I think the doctor said he was somewhere around like 50 something years old, 52, maybe 55, somewhere around there. And they asked like, hey, are you going to get the booster shot? He's like, my parents are getting the booster shot, but I think I'll be fine. I'm young enough and healthy enough, and I already got the vaccine. I should be fine without getting a booster shot. And then Joe asked him, do you realize that exact same statement is the exact same statement that some parents have about not vaccinating their children, their young children, or other young adults, like in their early 20s, that they feel like if they caught it, that they would be okay statistically. And the CNN doctor's just like, oh, fuck, Joe's right. And he was just like dead silent. Like he had nothing to kind of combat it or try to say anything about it. And he tried to like, he said something like, wait a minute. I feel like we're moving too fast. I feel like we need to talk about this first before we can talk about that. And just sent Joe on, or just took the whole conversation and went fucking somewhere else with it. Like he just dodged that shit. He didn't want to touch it at fucking all.
Well, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt there, Potter, because I can't listen to Rogan. This shit's too long and boring for me. But I don't know, man. I think whoever wants to take their chances, take their chances. But I'm not taking a chance.
What do you think? What do you think about the last one I said about Joe making his point that the doctor doesn't want to get a booster shot because he thinks he's young enough and healthy enough, and he's already got the COVID vaccine shot, so he should be okay.
I'm wondering if he said that he's never going to get it, or if he's not going to get it right now, because right now it's only for seniors, people with immuno. What do you call it? Their system's compromised. It's not for everybody 18 and over yet. Well, at least the Pfizer one. I know because I haven't been able to get it yet. I think the Johnson & Johnson's the only one that everybody who took it once can take it again. Moderna is still waiting on, and Pfizer again, yeah, still waiting on. So I don't know if he said like, "Hey, I'm not going to take it right now," or if I'm not going to ever take it. But if
I don't think he said he's never going to take a booster shot, but he said he's not going to take a booster shot right now. He doesn't need another booster shot right now.
Mm-hmm.
That he's vaccinated and healthy enough at this point in time that he should be okay if he caught COVID.
If that's what he said, I mean, then he's bad at arguing. But you know, it's a celebrity doctor. What a well, is what it is. I haven't listened. I can't speak to it because I haven't listened. But I just like my biggest thing is just like I personally would not want to, just opt out because I think I can handle it. It's like I don't want to risk it. I think I've had it bad enough to the point where it's like I'm just gonna do what it takes. I mean, I hate wearing a stupid mask anyway and shit too, but that's why I don't go out in public much anymore either.
How much longer do you think they'll have the mask mandate, especially in California?
See, that thing really bothers me too.
Or flying, even flying.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really fly that much, but at all. But no, I mean, the whole mask thing bothers me a little bit just because like it makes it even harder to breathe. But what are you gonna do?
Who wants to get the goddamn shot?
Right. As long as you have that resistance, then we'll still be wearing the masks.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate you done shots or whatever.
Dude, I went to Texas in July, man. There's no mask mandate. I had my shot and
they're getting sick at an arm.
Everything's bigger in Texas,
including the COVID curve.
Yeah, man. The thing just curves right on up there.
We in California statistically are the only ones that are really kind of regressing now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and I hate to put it that way because I don't want to give any credit to like Newsom or anything like that.
Do you think it's because everybody's moving out of California?
Maybe.
Like it's not actually going down. Yeah.
Yeah, all the Californians are in Texas now.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. That's it. Their fucking rate went up or whatever. We all went down there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Well, see, we said it wouldn't turn into a politics current affairs show, and look what happened.
I know. Speaking of shots, that's in poor taste. Or Alec Baldwin. Did you guys fucking hear about that shit?
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah,
that was terrible, man. Another Brandon Lee thing happening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to hold out. I'm trying to hear all the details. I heard maybe one. I'm not 100% sure if this is what it is, but apparently it sounded like the shot went through one person and hit the other.
Yeah, man.
So one of the person was behind the camera. So I'm thinking maybe they were doing a shot where like the gun looks like it's going into the camera.
Mm. Oh, that's.
So I think maybe that's what happened.
So
I don't know.
That close proximity, like
they were rehearsing a scene. He was, I guess, like shooting a gun or whatever, and I don't know. They said the gun went off, but he probably just pulled the trigger, like because he's acting or whatever, and the fucking the bullet was filled with something, or it was a real bullet, like one or the other. And I believe I watched like a Brandon Lee documentary a few years back, and I think because of that they actually get the stuff from a props department or something like that, right? And I think the bullets are numbered and stuff, so they can trace back exactly where that bullet came from and who filled it and whatnot. So that's going to be terrible for whoever they find out who did it.
So, man, I don't know if they're trying to spin it or if this is the truth, but I feel like they're also throwing out all these other things like, oh, the prop guy wasn't union. I think I saw.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
like,
the prop
took
guy
him out because he was in union.
The prop guy wasn't part of the union. I think I read something else like, oh, that gun was also used for target practice and like at another shoot or something like that. And then I've heard one guy saying they usually like plug the barrels for prop guns, but and then I've also heard like the Brandon Lee thing. The way he died was it was a fake gun, or
they emptied the bullet and they refilled it.
It was a fake bullet, or yeah, it was a snap cap.
Yeah,
for a prop gun, but there was something already lodged inside the barrel. And so when the snap cap bullet went off, or however you want to call that,
It popped. The
fake
pressure.
bullet, it shot the thing that was stuck inside the barrel out, and that's what got Brandon Lee.
Maybe they were firing real bullets before the fucking thing went off, and then they filled the blanks or whatever, and something was left behind.
I've also seen someone said
it's all speculation.
Yeah, I've also seen somebody said there's like a wadding they'll put in those type of bullets.
Yeah,
and if you're close enough, those things can really hurt you.
That just has to be so terrible for Alec Baldwin, man, to like be on a set where you think you're just playing with toys or whatever, and then all of a sudden like something like that fucking happens. That's a tragedy.
There's a couple other people online that I follow. They're like, I'm not going to say anything just yet. I'm going to wait. And I think that's the right thing to do. I don't think you should be jumping on this. I think everybody should know what happened, all the facts. That being said, I've also seen some people that run some like meme accounts, and they're just having a field day with this.
Yeah. Well, it's somebody's family members, like that's the worst part. So
yeah, that part's it's messed up. It really is. But I think you just got to wait. You got to hear what the full story is. I think I saw something on on Yahoo News, like a bullet point somebody posted up. I think the other person that got shot that didn't die, like barely spoke out. I didn't read it. I didn't have time.
Right. So, yeah, it's still all coming up to snuff. By the time this comes out, it'll probably be like old news.
That one just came out today. That thing I saw on Yahoo. So they'll still be talking about it for a couple more days or a week.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was shocking news the other night. Just kind of, I'm always looking at like TMZ because I always figured like something weird's going to happen and I'm going to miss it or whatever. Like, and every once in a while you get one that's like, oh god damn it, like that. It's not good. Like Norm Macdonald dying. That was crazy.
Fucking Norm, dude. I think he just kind of like flew under the radar. Who was I listening to? It might have been another. It's either Rogan or like Corolla. No, it was Corolla. I was listening to one of his podcasts, and he was talking about how like everyone kept telling like, Norm, you could be so much bigger and better if you just like left the OJ jokes alone. He's like, fuck that. I'm gonna do the OJ joke.
Here's the thing though, like Norm was good at being Norm. I tried to watch Dirty Work last night. I'd never seen Dirty Work, and I'm like, I've been on a Norm kick since he died. I'm like, I feel bad he's dead, I'm like, you're supposed to feel bad for the guy. That's what Norm would have wanted.
Corolla was saying like some people just don't want to be like the best. They're happy being just like a little bit lower in like this like middle area, and just like being enough free time to do what they want.
Here's the deal. I've watched like fucking hundreds of hours of Norm by now. Norm didn't want to act or whatever because I don't think Norm could act like Robin Williams, for example, or whatever. I was just talking to my wife about this. So Robin Williams, you watch a movie in Robin Williams and he becomes the character. After a couple minutes, you're like, oh, he's the character, or whatever. Like you forget you're even watching the guy you've seen a bunch of times in other shit. When I watched Norm Macdonald doing Dirty Work, it felt like I'm watching Norm Macdonald playing an actor acting in a Norm Macdonald movie. Like, it didn't seem like he was the character he was supposed to be playing, if that makes sense. He was doing Norm Macdonald jokes as Norm Macdonald and just happened to be acting in a movie or whatever. Like, it just...
Yeah, I get you.
So, and to Norm's credit or whatever, he was saying that, he always had stand-up to fall back on. He goes, I made enough money doing stand-up to where I didn't really need to do anything but sit here and tell jokes or whatever to people, So he didn't need Saturday Night Live or anything like that. It just happened to be he could make money doing it. And then, I believe he had, gambling problems and stuff like that. So he'd like lose money. He's just like an obsessed, like a someone who shoots from the hip, you know, just kind of compulsive person.
see, like you said, like he didn't need that Saturday night money. He was happy with just doing stand up. Some other people would be like, no, fuck that. I want to do stand up. I want to do a movie, and I want to do fucking SNL. I want to do all three. I want to be just big and famous and out there and everywhere.
Hey, Dirty Work is pretty fucking funny though.
Oh yeah. Well, I need to finish watching that. But yeah, I had a hard time watching.
Oh my God, there's a dead hooker in your car.
That's right, like all the dead hookers. Revenge for Hire. That was a good plot, but I feel like they didn't have enough money for that movie.
I think it was what it was. It was a crude comedy, you know, like low budget. It seemed like kind of, but I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I think I might have seen this movie before. If I have, it's been a long time.
It's Norm and Artie Lang, and they start this Revenge for Hire business.
Yeah, I think I haven't seen it in a long time. Shit.
Like you pay us to fuck over your boss, or somebody who's wronged you.
It's on Hulu. I'll check it out.
HBO Max, man.
Did you guys throw anything else out there while I was relieving myself?
No, we just talked about Baldwin and then started talking about Norm Macdonald.
All right. Anything else we want to throw out there?
I think that's pretty much good for this one. We could probably wrap it up at about this point. Hopefully it's not as bad, comment-wise as the shit show with the other guys.
I guess maybe next time we could start shit talking about people.
Oh, yeah. Save those stories, Potter. We'll get there.
There's plenty of people. We'll have more people to fucking shit talk next time. Don't worry.
All right. So that'll wrap it up here for this little shit pellet show, I guess. We were still missing Sosa, and he'd complete, the rest of the shit, the rest of the old plop there.
Maybe it's like a small turd or a nugget.
I would say like maybe a shart.
A shart.
Yeah.
The shart show.
Yeah, we had the fart show, and that was planned that day to just be the two of y'all. But this one, it was supposed to be a shit, but it didn't quite come out that way, so it's more of a shart.
Fair
Fair
I'll
enough.
take that.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully we'll have some more fart shows too out there in the future. When Whitey might be able to lead his Men of Weed again, we'll compare, and maybe we'll have some sort of battle between the two.
We're gonna have a game plan this time. No cups or girls in cups. I don't know, man. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whitey. Give him
What's
the
up?
joint. Give him the joint last. Okay. Next time. Okay.
Dude, but your homie there, man, he had like the most fucked up picture. I had to trim it so it didn't look like his hair was all screwed up. And I superimposed him onto like a body with a weed t-shirt.
Oh, right. You always come up with these fucked up pictures, man.
That was the worst cover art I've ever done. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah. I couldn't tell who was who in the King of the Hill picture, by the way.
Really?
You put the name on there.
Oh, did you? I just all I did was look real quick while I was at on my break today.
You're Boomhauer.
Gotcha.
I'm
You got Boomhauer?
well, it was just the blonde hair that did it.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
I'm Bill, and then Potter's Hank, and then Sosa was Joe Gribble.
I was just talking with somebody about how Boomhauer is pretty funny when you can understand what he's saying. Like, first of all, throughout watching the show, if you binge that show, by the end of that show, you understand every fucking word Boomhauer says.
Yeah.
Like he makes complete sense if you're just like tuning in, you're like, what the fuck did that guy say? But I totally speak Boomhauer now. So it's weird. And then like, there's certain moments where like, he's got clarity, like when he's singing Blue Moon of Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like you can hear him. He's got the most beautiful voice.
Or in his head. Yeah.
Yeah. His head when he's talking or whatever at the firehouse. What did he say? Yeah.
Hank, I have been trying to read this article of Muscle Car magazine for the past 25 goddamn minutes. You guys, please shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And then like Hank
maybe,
and them are all
without the
fast.
fuck, but more or less that's what he was talking about.
Hank's like, Dago Boomhauer.
Yeah, all of them are talking gibberish.
Yeah, it's great.
Except he's the only one who's clear.
That's a good show, audience. If you haven't watched King of the Hill, man, like
They
really
were talking
recommend
about
that one.
rebooting it, but I don't think a reboot would be good at all.
They would have to find a way to kill Tom Petty and Luann, which would be easy because they were both kind of not smart.
Yeah. Well, that I just think also, I mean, you could do a lot of social commentary on there, right? But
Yep.
it's been so long where you would have to age the characters, you know?
Not only that, but kids are forgetting stuff already from like when we were, 15 and 16. So, yeah, might not hold up because it's probably something that we grew up with. So, we hold on to that. So,
well, they rebooted Beavis and Butthead and it flopped, and I thought it was still funny.
No, they're still rebooting. Okay, I heard that on Paramount Plus that they ordered like a bunch of Beavis and Butthead movies or something like that, or maybe it was just one, but it's like a sequel to Do America or something like that, like a movie of that proportion. So it's in production right now. Supposedly, sometimes you hear like movies come out. I don't know, like that Bad Boys 2 movie. Remember Bad Boys 2? Mm-hmm. I heard about that when we were like in I don't know, 6th or 7th grade, and that movie didn't come out till we were like adults.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Like these things take forever to fucking produce, or sometimes they don't even get produced. Like they'll start producing a movie and the script's no good or something like that, and then they're like, "Oh, movie canceled."
Yeah, no, but what was I saying with the Beavis and Butthead one? Yeah, I thought it was genius the way they rebooted it on MTV, where instead of critiquing music videos because nobody really watches music.
Yeah, it was just them with reality TV, right?
Yeah, they're watching like Jersey Shore and shit. And
that was great.
Teen Mom. So they managed to work MTV's bullshit in there because I just don't know why it didn't work out though. Because I mean, the episodes are funny.
I don't think they even needed the music videos or commentating at all. Like it was funny to watch that stuff because that was what was cool at the time. You'd like to turn on the TV to sit. There was only a couple channels, man. Like it was like, oh, I'm gonna watch like CNN or something like that, or or a sport game, or I'm gonna watch MTV. You
watched a lot of CNN as a 5-year-old, Whitey?
No, but I always remember fucking Larry King or whatever, like being on the TV.
Yeah, it was boring, yeah.
Like he always looked the same.
Mm-hmm.
He looked 70 for 30 years.
That's true.
Yep.
All right. So that about does it, guys. Let's cut it here before we start reminiscing about Larry King.
The Shark Show.
But the Shark Show here will come to an end. And hopefully Sosa will swim his way back. I know Whitey's dastardly deeds. He pulled a Bobby Heenan over here or Jimmy Hart and really weaseled his way back in and nearly drowned Sosa. Right.
The time is different in the bush.
But we'll see if anybody else gets voted off the island. I don't know, Potter. You might be in danger there as well.
Maybe he's the next one to disappear. Who knows?
Maybe our island requires proof of vaccination.
Oh man,
I am vaccinated, motherfuckers.
But you don't want to show it.
No, he printed out a fake card. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, huh?
I don't want to flaunt it online just to to please people.
I see. No, but I have it on my phone, so like if it's required anywhere, it's just like boom, there it is.
His vaccine card says McLovin.
I am McLovin.
All right then. Well, hopefully everybody will jump on back next time. But for everybody listening at home, I appreciate it. Thank you. Fuck you and good night. Subscribe to the Ignorance is Strength podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Like, follow, and share on Facebook and Instagram at Ignorance is Strength Podcast and on Twitter at The Ignorance Pod.